Hi guys, it's Andy here from D6 Evolution, and today we're talking about the big FAQ. Now, this is just a quick video just to go over the basics of it. Hopefully when the rest of the D6 crew finally get around to joining me, we're going to do a real more in-depth sort of sit and talk about things, because I think there's some really big changes in here. So first of all, before we get too far into it, the way I look at this FAQ is I think really we're only getting half an FAQ here, because the big changes which are going to go along with some of these changes of the core rules are going to come in chapter approval, and we're going to get all the points changes and so forth, which are going to hopefully rebalance some of the more outlandish units in the game. So getting on with the FAQ, I think it's brilliant. I think GW's done a really nice thing. They've done a really clever thing in that they've given something to everyone, and that they've given the prepared positions stratagem, which for 2 CP, your entire army starts in cover if it's not Titanic. Now people say, well, my infantry's already been in cover, but the cool thing is it happens to vehicles. Now having it rocking a 2-up armor save on like these Dark Talons here, amazing. They're already -2 to hit near a Dark Shroud, now they've got a 2-up armor save. Also the Eldar flyers are going to be absolutely obscene as well. I think the other thing is armies which ignore cover, Dark Angels, are going to be brilliant for this, because people are going to be expecting to get the 2-up armor saves, and they're going to be building lists around the fact that they're going to be in cover for the first turn. So if you've got an ability to counter it, such as Tau with a Marker Light, hey, I think even Iron Warriors, we may even see some of them on the table. You never know. And Dark Angels will be good. Obviously, it's a huge boon to gun lines in general. Tau are going to be even more horrible than normal. And, you know, Horde armies, things like Orcs. Orcs are already can sound like they're going to be really strong, but it sounds like they're going to get even stronger now. Obviously, guys, things like Demons, they just don't get. They're just not going to be affected by it at all. Sad time for Demons players. I think the important things to note here, guys, Agents of Vect can still affect it, because Agents of Vect, you're only not allowed to use it on things which happen before the game start, and this happened after the game start. So you can still get Agents of Vect, which again, another big boon to Drakari players, that the fact that they can deny this on their opponent. And I think in general it's just going to be really good for power armoured armies, which it's good. Space Marines need a boost in general. So next up, CP regen. Some people say it's dead. It's kind of dead. I'm going to go on to that in a moment. So you can only get 1 CP back per battle round. Of course, Eldar have got some silly shenanigans when, you know, if they roll the same number of dice, same number on the dice as it is per stratagem, I think they can get slightly more back. But in general, it's 1 CP per battle round. What it doesn't include, obviously, is deployment, because that's not a battle round. So, you know, if you're a Custodes player, like myself, and you want to do Victor of the Blood games, so 2 CP on multiple characters, you can do that still, and you can still roll for your command points back on that, because as far as I'm aware, it's not a battle round, so that's all fair game. And it's probably still worth regenerating those CP, because even in the game, you still can potentially get up to 5. So that's pretty good. Now, one of my favourite changes here is the fact that they've finally clarified heroic intervention, to say that, you know, regardless of whether your opponent charges or whether he wants to pretend that the fight phase never happened, it's fair game. And that's, to be fair, how it's been worded, but there was a little bit of ambiguity still there, but it's really cool they've just tightened up that rule, because there's so many tricks with heroic intervention. So I'm really, really happy about that. Now, guys, the big FAQ, it's part of it's actually in the FAQ, but some of the really key changes which happen, they're not in the big FAQ at all. They're actually in the rulebook FAQ. So, and that's where some of the fundamental ways the game work get changed. So the big one, and I'm not sure you've seen this, is they've changed the fly keyword ever so subtly. They've also changed the Harlequin flip belts like this as well. But they've changed it from, you know, you can just ignore models and move over them, so now you can only use the fly keyword in the movement phase. So it also includes things like when you say move as if it's the movement phase, things like acts of faith and so forth. But essentially, when you're charging, when you're piling in, when you're consolidating, you can no longer use the fly keyword. So it's essentially like your Custodes biker, he's flown up to you, and now he has to get off and push his bike, and he's no longer got the fly keyword, which is huge because that stops like your slam captains heroically intervening over the top of guardsmen and all these sort of shenanigans which are happening. It's also really going to affect Space Wolves with their 6-inch heroic intervention as well, which is sad times for them. Other things which have changed: Deep Strike. Deep Strike rules have been tightened up a little bit. Now, if you put stuff in reserve, it's got to be half. It can only be half of your total points, as opposed to power levels, because no one really uses power levels, so it was a really odd mechanic that. So I like that. But also, you just can't come down turn 1. Which is, I guess, some people were using it defensively, like Drakari players were putting down their Ravagers back in their own deployment zone to stop them getting alpha striked. But now it's just a blanket, you can't do it. Which is fine. Personally, I love the Deep Strike rule turn 1. I love throwing in my Eversaws and stuff, but I can see why some people don't like it. I was kind of hoping they'd get rid of it, but they've just tightened it up even more. It still doesn't affect things which start on the board, so you can have your Blood Angels captain. You can still read Deep Striking, because this rule only affects reserves. So if you're not reserves, then it doesn't affect you. So they've changed a few little stratagems around as well. With the Imperial Knight stratagems, they've bumped up the price of them a little bit. Which is fine. It just means that your Imperial Knights just can't continually just get back up and get back up and get back up again. And I think, the increased cost of them, in conjunction again with the change to CP, is really going to mean that that's really going to tone down that particular army. Obviously, you can still take a cheap battalion for now, and that's why I say this is only half an FAQ. So you can still take a couple of guard battalions and get 10 CP out of it really easily. So your Imperial Knight players still have a lot of CP to play with if they build their armies correctly. But I guess that's only for the next couple of months, and I think in the next FAQ we're going to see some changes to that as well. Also, guys, Chaos took a little bit of hit in the fact that Alpha Legion no longer just lets you drop in your opponent's face with a whole bunch of Berserkers. Same with Raven Guard. And if anyone's not had to experience a whole bunch of aggressors just dropping in your face with Raven Guard and double shooting, you never have to, and it wasn't a pleasant experience. Which is a shame, because I just emailed my buddy to borrow a bunch of his aggressors, because I was thinking of using an infiltrating Raven Guard, but don't need to do that now, because instead of dropping 9 inches away from you before the game starts, now it's just a 9-inch move for a command point, which sucks. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's the best thing ever, but to me, it sucks. So, overall, I think in this, the main things are prepared positions. I think that's brilliant. If you've got an ability which denies your opponent that, such as being Dark Elder, if you ignore cover, that's really going to make you a little bit stronger in this edition moving forward from this FAQ. But yeah, gun lines definitely got stronger. Tower going to be definitely going to be better again. I think orcs are going to be horrible when it finally gets to October. And I think Eldar, again, being -2 to hit and having a 2-up armor save on all their vehicles is going to be horrible. But yeah, overall, I think it's wicked. I think it's really cool. I'm really excited to get some games in with this, until obviously everything changes again at the start of December with the chapter approved. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know if I've got anything wrong. Obviously, I've only read over this a couple of times. I've been working most of the weekend. It sucks when work gets in the way of Warhammer, as I think you will all agree. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what your favourite changes are. Let me know if you don't like anything in the FAQ. I find it really fun debating all the little changes. I've probably missed a few things. I've not covered every single like little change to every codex, but I think I've touched on the key points. Anyway, take care, guys, and if you like what you're seeing, remember, subscribe to the channel. We do weekly tactics videos. We're even starting to do fairly regular battle reports, and well, I'll see you in the next video.